When you first hear the name Nikon ZR, it sounds familiar, almost like another camera in Nikon's growing mirrorless lineup. But the moment you look closer, it becomes clear, this isn't just another release. This is something different. Something bold. Something that feels like Nikon quietly changed direction without announcing it to the world. The ZR feels like a new chapter. A point where Nikon stops trying to chase the market and instead decides to reshape it. The more you explore this camera, the more you realize it's not built like a traditional Nikon. It's not even trying to be one. It's something between a cinema tool and a photographer's dream, combining power, elegance, and modern simplicity. From the moment you pick it up, there's a sense that this camera was made for creators, people who live behind the lens, who think in images, who chase emotion more than perfection. Every dial, every menu, every sound it makes feels deliberate. It's less about shouting specs and more about whispering excellence. So what's the secret behind the ZR? Why are so many filmmakers talking about it? Why are so many switching from other systems, even from brands they've used for years? Let's dive into what makes the ZR not just impressive, but quietly revolutionary. Image quality, the hidden revolution. At first glance, Nikon's ZR looks like an evolution of the company's recent mirrorless cameras. But when you see its footage for the first time, something feels different. The colors. The texture. The soul of the image. Nikon calls this a rebranded camera, but that term doesn't capture what's really happening here. The ZR introduces a new sensor design, new color science, and a level of image processing that transforms how the footage feels, not just how it looks. For years, Nikon's visual identity has been built on natural tones, deep contrast, and lifelike color balance. It's a look that feels grounded, familiar, trustworthy. But the ZR adds a cinematic layer to that DNA. The first time you bring the footage into post-production, you notice it immediately. There's something in the texture, a soft, filmic grain that feels intentional, organic, alive. The image breathes. Shadows hold detail. Highlights roll off smoothly instead of clipping abruptly. It feels less like a digital capture and more like a crafted frame from a high-end cinema production. This is where the 12-bit Red RAW recording comes into play. It's not just about more data or flexibility. It's about depth, about giving each pixel room to tell a story. With Red RAW, the ZR captures an emotional richness that's hard to describe until you see it. Pull up the footage in DaVinci Resolve or Premiere, start color grading, and something magical happens. You can lift shadows, stretch highlights, shift white balance, and the image holds up. There's no tearing, no banding, no loss of life. The image doesn't break apart under pressure. It holds together like film stock. The colors stay true. Skin tones remain natural and smooth, while skies, fabrics, and reflections retain that cinematic texture. You don't have to fight the footage. You shape it. And that's what separates the ZR from so many cameras in its price range. It gives you creative freedom without punishment. Even more impressive, all this power doesn't make your editing workflow heavy or frustrating. On modern laptops, even portable ones like the MacBook M3 Max, playback is surprisingly smooth. Nikon and Red seem to have struck a rare balance, cinematic power that's still easy to handle. You don't need a studio workstation. You just need vision. This means creators can stay mobile, spontaneous, and fast. Whether you're traveling, shooting documentaries, or capturing cinematic vlogs, the ZR lets you keep your pace, without sacrificing quality. And that's just the start. The art of color, not just science. When you study the ZR's color, you realize this is more than a technical achievement. It's artistic. The tones feel rich but not exaggerated. They carry depth and confidence, like every hue was sculpted instead of calculated. Reds are deep and bold but never oversaturated. Greens feel natural and cinematic. Skin has warmth but not plasticity. It's that fine balance between realism and storytelling, between accuracy and atmosphere. That's what makes the footage look expensive. It's not about resolution. It's about character. Even after aggressive grading, the ZR's footage holds that TCK, buttery texture you see in professional cinema cameras. The noise, instead of ruining the image, adds life to it, a subtle grain that makes each frame feel tangible. It's this emotional weight that makes the ZR stand out. You can almost sense that Nikon and Red didn't just collaborate on technology, they collaborated on feel. This is a camera that respects the art of color. It gives creators permission to push boundaries without losing the soul of their image. The ecosystem awakens. Great cameras don't exist in isolation. They live within ecosystems, cages, rigs, gimbals, lenses, monitors, and accessories. What's fascinating about the ZR is how quickly the accessory world responded. Brands like SmallRig were ready almost immediately, offering cages and mounts designed specifically for it. Nikon even launched bundle deals including a cage right from release, a smart, almost cinematic move. This shows one thing: the industry sees potential. When third-party manufacturers start building around a camera that fast, it's a sign they believe it's going to stay. And that belief is spreading fast. Filmmakers who once swore by Sony's FX30 are starting to switch. Others who relied on Canon's C70 are curious. The buzz isn't just about specs or pricing, it's about what people are seeing on screen. The ZR is giving independent creators access to cinema-level performance without the weight, price, or complexity of cinema rigs. It's becoming the gateway camera for the next generation of storytellers. You can feel that shift happening, a quiet revolution built on trust and results, not hype. A new kind of freedom. The real secret behind the Nikon ZR isn't hidden in its technical specs. It's hidden in its philosophy. This camera gives creators freedom, the freedom to shoot anywhere, to create without compromise, to focus on storytelling instead of troubleshooting. It's built for those who care not only about image quality but about experience, the feeling of using a camera that just works, that responds intuitively, that feels like an extension of your intent. Every part of the ZR, from its autofocus system to its luxurious screen, is designed with that philosophy in mind. Autofocus that feels human. Let's talk about autofocus. For years, Nikon has been refining its AF technology. The Z6 III and Z8 were already excellent, but they had a small issue, a subtle pulse before locking focus, that tiny moment of hesitation that videographers could always spot. In the ZR, that hesitation is gone. The autofocus feels alive. It moves smoothly, naturally, confidently. You tap a subject, and the transition happens with grace, not too fast, not too slow. It doesn't jump aggressively. It doesn't hunt nervously. It moves with intention, like a human focus puller reading the scene. That alone changes the game for filmmakers. Whether you're shooting a talking head, a product reveal, or a slow cinematic rack focus, the ZR behaves like it understands what you want. It feels intelligent, not mechanical. It's this level of control and subtlety that turns a camera from a tool into a partner. The autofocus in the ZR is not just about speed. It's about taste, knowing when to move and when to stay still. That's what makes the footage look cinematic instead of digital. The display, a window to the future. Then, there's the screen. It might sound strange to praise a camera's display, but the ZR's screen is one of the best Nikon has ever built. It's large, bright, and genuinely functional. It covers the full DCI P3 color gamut, and it reaches up to 4000 nits of brightness, making it perfectly visible even under harsh sunlight. But brightness is not the most impressive part. It's the experience. The touchscreen feels luxurious, responsive, and intelligent. You touch, swipe, or pinch, and it reacts instantly. It doesn't lag. It doesn't misread gestures. It feels like using a flagship smartphone rather than a traditional camera interface. This transforms how you interact with the camera. Instead of digging through complicated menus or memorizing button combinations, you simply touch what you need. The ZR's interface is clean, logical, and intuitive. You can change ISO, white balance, focus mode, or frame rate directly from the screen, fast, fluid, and frustration-free. It's a bold signal that Nikon is ready to fully embrace modern hybrid workflows. The days of endless button presses are over. The future is touch-driven, customizable, and fluid. And the ZR nails it. Ergonomics, the power of simplicity. At first glance, the body of the Nikon ZR looks minimal. There are fewer buttons, fewer dials, fewer distractions. But this isn't about cutting corners. It's about intentional design. Every remaining control serves a purpose. The top plate includes only what you need: a clear display, mode button, and exposure compensation. The mode button is especially powerful. It unlocks up to 5 customizable user profiles. With a single press, you can jump from one complete setup to another. Imagine switching instantly from a 6K 60p RAW recording mode to a 10-bit internal ProRes profile. No digging through settings, no wasted time. Just tap, shoot, and move. That's what Nikon means by intelligent design, giving power without complexity. Even small details show this mindset. The power button lights up, a small touch, but incredibly useful in low-light shoots. The grip feels solid and ergonomic without being bulky. The camera's weight feels balanced, ready for both handheld and rigged setups. Nikon has finally found that balance between form and function, between classic reliability and modern minimalism. The fifth pillar, customizability. If there's one hidden strength of the ZR that sets it apart, it's customizability. At around $2,200, it sits right in the middle ground between beginner and professional, but it performs like something far beyond its price range. You can keep it minimal for travel and handheld shooting, or build it into a complete production rig with a cage, external SSD, microphone, monitor, and large lens. It doesn't complain. It doesn't overheat. It adapts. The internal cooling system handles long sessions gracefully, keeping performance stable even during extended 6K recording. That reliability makes it ideal for professional shoots where interruptions are unacceptable. And again, the accessory ecosystem is already thriving. From cages and mounts to gimbals and lenses, third-party support is growing fast. Nikon even bundled some of these tools right from launch, a smart acknowledgement that today's creators want ready-made setups, not just bare-bones bodies. The ZR is built to scale with you. It can be your lightweight daily camera or your full-on production rig. It's flexible, capable, and future-proof. The meaning behind the machine. By now, it's clear that the Nikon ZR is more than the sum of its specs. It's more than its resolution, codecs, or ports. It's a statement. It says that Nikon understands where creators are headed, toward flexibility, toward quality, toward experiences that feel cinematic but remain accessible. The ZR doesn't try to replace cinema cameras. It tries to democratize their look, their texture, their emotional power. It gives everyday creators access to the kind of visual storytelling that once required huge budgets and complex gear. And that's the real secret Nikon doesn't shout about. They built a camera that isn't just powerful, it's empowering. Every frame from the ZR feels deliberate. Every feature feels thoughtful. And every design choice feels made by someone who actually listens to filmmakers, not just engineers. The Nikon ZR isn't perfect, no camera is. But it's deeply human. It's built for people who care about how their work feels, not just how sharp it looks. It's for creators who want to tell stories that move people, not just impress them. And that's why the ZR matters. Because when a camera captures not just light, but emotion, it stops being a device, and becomes a companion.